Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right. Happy to be back talking about gold and silver, as well as cryptocurrencies or anything fun living like that. Anyways, if you've not seen this documentary yet, The Great Taking, I highly recommend you go check it out. I've been preaching about this for years. When I first got into YouTube, I was telling everybody there is a worldwide economic crash going to happen. And that the people that are behind this is planned. It's a planned event. And that their goal is to take as much of your wealth away from you as possible. And everybody's like, I thought you said this was going to happen. It hasn't happened yet. All the indicators are there. But unfortunately, the indicators that we rely on to make decisions investment-wise are being screwed with. You can't trust them. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a moment. But I don't want people going, oh, this is fear porn. Oh, you just want us to buy gold and silver. Yeah, I do want you to buy gold and silver. There's a reason why I don't want you in crypto. There's a reason why I don't want you in the stock market. All these are tools that are being used to strip people of their wealth. When you watch The Great Taking, you'll see that what I was saying is right. Because he's going to explain to you what the overall goal is and how this came to be. But let's get into this so I can show you guys a couple of things so you'll understand what I'm talking about. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory. Now more than ever, okay? So anyways, in the past, I've said this several times, you can't trust the numbers that we're seeing. You can't. They lie about them. They will manipulate them. They will change them. They don't care. All the indicators, with everything that we see happening, in the economy, those of us who are invested in precious metals are going, wait a minute, this is not how things are supposed to be. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong with the data. Something's wrong with the way people are reporting things. And then you realize that they're just fudging with the numbers. Now, we are in an election year, and those very people that we're fighting against, these globalists, this World Economic Forum, New World Order, their man in office is Biden. That's why they want to stay there, but he ain't going to make it. He's already kaput. In May, what they're going to do is pull Biden and go ahead and announce Michelle Obama. And she's going to push this agenda further along if she's in office. That's the best bet that these people have against Trump. And let's be honest, it's not her that's actually going to be running things. It's going to be Obama. He'll be going for his fourth term. But this is what I'm talking about when it comes to fudging the numbers. Biden notes record high stock market numbers after Trump's prediction that it would crash. A good one, Donald. Yeah, it should have crashed. Should have crashed long ago. So we are seeing the stock market reach new highs. And everybody's scratching their heads going, how? There's so many people out of work. Just so you're aware, Biden is doing the same thing Obama did. And that is people who run out of unemployment benefits, they count those people as going back to work. But first, let's talk about the stock market. Yeah, so they're pumping the stock market, hitting their inflation target. Then they're lying about the data that they use to calculate the inflation rate. Employment numbers look good. All this is just BS. They are doing this to try to make Biden look good going into this new election term so that they can beat Trump. So you can expect this all year long, but you can take advantage of it. You can take advantage of the stock market. It's going to make a run. You can take advantage of the cryptos. They're going to take a run. Make sure you don't stay in the stock market or cryptos too long. And of course, always, always, always buy gold and silver. Now I got people going, man, Pimpy, I bought it when it was at the highest and then it fell back a little bit. I mean, it's just barely getting back to where it was. Well, look, I've been preaching about it since 2015 when silver was like $11 and gold was, I think, like $900. But if you started buying at the end when you seen it running up, there's a good chance that you lost some value in your precious metals. But what did I tell you before? If you're buying precious metals, hoping for a big payday to happen, that's not the purpose of being into it. Is that ever going to happen? Yes. I've showed you before and I'll show you again that you can anticipate there being a revaluation of gold. Should have happened long ago, but they need to do something to clear this debt off their books. And the only way they're going to be able to do that is through precious metals. If there are stocks out there that you are watching and they are rising, by all means, boo-boo, do you. Take advantage of them pumping. Write it out, get your money, but don't stay in too long. Same thing with cryptocurrency. If you guys remember, whenever cryptocurrencies start to see a crash, it's really hard for people to sign on to their different exchanges. People had a hard time getting into Robinhood to move your cryptos or to dump them. So keep that in mind. You want to get in there and take advantage of the profits that you make, but make sure you pull the profits out. I spoke about this earlier. If you put in $5,000 into crypto and all of a sudden become $10,000, take $5,000 out. Now you're playing with house money. What that means is you have your $5,000 initial investment. So if this disappears, you didn't lose anything because you got your original investment out. So play with the house money. So you got your $5,000. Once that gets to $10,000, take another $5,000 out. Now you got $5,000 profit, but you're still playing with house money. As soon as it gets to 10, just keep doing that. Take the money out. Don't go, oh my God, if I'd have kept my money in, I would have this much more. That's how people lose everything. Because then you're in there and then all of a sudden it starts to tank and you're like, oh my God, cryptos are crashing. You're trying to get onto your exchange and you can't. It's down 10%, down 15%. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't get in. You're mad and everything else. And what? You just lost a ton of your money. You should have took profits out as you went along. And as you take them out, move them into gold and silver. Trust me, you don't want to be in the system. So don't trust these numbers. This is just BS. Nobody out there can explain to me realistically why it is the stock market is going up considering where we are economically. This should not be a surprise at all. So every month we see the media get all excited. Yeah, good job creations. Biden's doing so good. Yes, look at all these jobs they created. And then at the end of the year, when they make their annually adjustments, quietly, this is what they do. So they lie about the number of jobs that are created to make Biden look good. But at the end of the year, they make the adjustment. So they removed 439,000 jobs that were supposed to be created over there. They removed them. That's the adjustment that they make. Lie about it so you can talk about it at the moment. Then after the year's over, make that adjustment quietly so people don't see it. Here's the thing that people should be disgusted about. 8.7 million Americans, and this is a record high, hold multiple jobs to make ends meet. This is a record. 8.7 million people can't survive off of one income. They need to hold multiple jobs. I said earlier, it's only been a few decades since we were able to live off a single family income. One breadwinner. So dad went to work, mom stayed home, cooked, clean. Those days were nice. Dad could make enough money to take care of the family. Now you got families out there, mom and dad working and still can't make ends meet. That's terrible. There's nothing to be proud of about this number right here. A record high, 8.7 million Americans hold multiple jobs. But don't count them towards their job numbers. They will. They lie about the numbers. You can't trust them. Talking about cryptocurrencies earlier, we're talking about El Salvador. They go, do you happen to know, has anything happened to El Salvador's economy since they switched to Bitcoin? I said, yeah, actually, they stabilized. Their economy not only stabilized, but it's starting to grow. So according to its vice president, Bitcoin adoption is helping El Salvador's rebirth. Now this article is older, by the way, October of 2023, so it's a few months old, and they're still doing good. If you guys remember when El Salvador's president decided to switch over to Bitcoin as their official currency, the IMF and the World Bank came out and said, no, that's a bad idea. People shouldn't support that. And you knew damn well they're going to do anything they can to just kill that market. They were. He stood his ground and doubled down and invested more money into Bitcoin. And now look how good the country's doing. Several reports about El Salvador's security policies, economic recovery, bond strength, and even tourism booming due to the influence of Bitcoin and its community are part of the news about the Central American country. We had an exclusive interview with the vice president to better understand these topics. It says at the end of July, Bloomberg reported that despite being concerned about the country's adoption of Bitcoin as a legal tender in 2021, Wall Street investors have been interested in the growth of El Salvador's bonds. The 70% return in 2023 are the best performing amongst bonds from emerging markets. So congrats to El Salvador on that. That's the best performing bonds. For example, even with the return of 180% on its position, this capital company decided to hold it. But why? 70% return on the bonds in 2023. That's phenomenal. So congrats to El Salvador. That was a smart move, moving over into Bitcoin. But they're not alone. Argentina's new president is going to move over to Bitcoin as well. I'm still worried about these things. I still think it's a trap. But Argentina approves Bitcoin as official currency. So I'm anticipating Bitcoin to go up. But more importantly, the one that's going to outperform them all, of course, Ethereum again. You guys will explain that later. So Argentina's new government has ratified and confirmed that contracts dominated in Bitcoin can be officially recognized by the country's courts. So the new president, he's also telling the citizens they have the right to choose what currency they want to go with. It isn't just Bitcoin, but they also are allowed to use dollars. Javier's goal is to totally obliviate the peso, kill it. Kill the peso that they're using over there, and then turn around and come back with a gold peso is what he's talking about. I'll read more into it and let you know. They will make their move into the gold standard is what he's pledging. But for now, you can use Bitcoin if you want to. So congrats to Bitcoin on that move. So El Salvador stabilized their economy and doing really well, moving over to Bitcoin. Argentina needs to do the same thing. If they move into Bitcoin, and not only do they become stabilized, their economy I'm talking about, but all of a sudden start to grow, you can bet that there's going to be a lot of countries out there that do the same thing. You might see somebody like Zimbabwe. So I was going over information about silver, but this is something that caught my attention that blew my mind. Did you know that the movie industry uses more than 50% of the mined silver that comes up? Silver has several industrial uses. You're dang right it does. Therefore, economic growth can affect silver prices far more than it affects gold prices. That's why you should be in silver, and right now is a good time to be into it. Due to silver's physical strength, montability, and conductivity, it is used in almost any industry field, hence increasing its industrial demand. Use of silver is used in many sectors. More than 50% of mined silver goes to movie industry. Used to create sensitive materials reflecting the light. Other uses are in different industries, including military. About 500 ounces of silver is used in every Tomahawk missile. Only 3% goes to the jewelry industry. And demand from any of these sectors leads to a change in its price. That makes it hard to get and in-demand precious metals. And how it is they continue to manipulate. And I heard Andy talking on the show earlier. So it looks like, I think it's Wells Fargo or one of these other banks have taken over for JP Morgan and manipulate the prices. I'll get into those details a little bit later. But for now, I just wanted to show you this. I had no idea that the movie industry consumes more than 50% of the mined silver. That's crazy. So the Fed keeps talking about how they've reached their goal for inflation. But look at this. Inflation could see a resurgence, and investors expecting a perfect outcome for the economy this year may be disappointed. This is what BlackRock is warning people. Inflation could see a resurgence and spoil a perfect scenario for the economy. Investors are expecting a soft landing as inflation cools and the Fed slashes interest rates. They're going to do that. They're going to slash interest rates. Again, they got to do everything they can to make Biden look good. But persistently higher wage growth means inflation could reach 3% in 2025. So again, this is what I'm talking about. They manipulate the numbers. So you can see right here, market pricing in a perfect outcome is a big macro bet. A soft economic landing is possible, but the range of potential outcomes is wide in the new regime of greater macro and market volatility. That's why we're ready to be nimble and selective over their 6 to 12 month tactical horizons. And this is BlackRock, and they are one of the hedge funds. So Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock have been really good by using their portfolios to move markets in the direction they want to. So I spoke about this earlier. You guys remember our credit rating got downgraded. Said the Fitch rating downgrade of the U.S. credit rating and U.S. Treasury sizable borrowing needs put a spotlight on the challenging U.S. fiscal outlook. So a downgrade of the U.S. credit rating had several immediate and long-term consequences. Borrowing costs, for us to borrow money to cover this. The downgrade leads to a rise in U.S. borrowing costs as investors demand higher returns to compensate for the increased risk associated with holding U.S. debt. The stock market volatility. The downgrade causes significant volatility in global stock markets as investors reassess their risk associated with holding U.S. assets and their concerns about the economy, especially since a lot of these people around the world are still struggling to recover from the 2008 financial crash. So there's some countries out there that were hit hard, like Japan, and had a hard time recovering. But also, the downgrade also makes a great case for why globalization is a bad idea. It raises concerns about the stability of the global financial market. And that's the whole thing about globalization. If something happens major to one country, it affects everybody. That's not what you want. It's a good excuse to get away from globalization and the whole world economic push for it. So the great taking, this right here, I will leave a link for this. I highly encourage you guys to come check it out. And then also encourage you guys to continue stacking gold and silver. Keep going in that direction. Many of you know that I'm not working with Money Metals any longer. I am now with Miles Franklin and Andy Shipman. I'm happy about that move. If you guys go to the website to buy, make sure you use promo code Pimpy and they'll take care of you. But if you have any questions, feel free to call. They even gave me my own number for my listeners. This is cool. 844-8-PIMPIES. And also, for any orders over $10,000, email me and let me know, because I can help you get a better deal for the money you're going to spend. Email right here and let me know what you have in mind and how much you want to spend. And then I'll let you know what kind of deal we can get you, okay? Anyways, that's it for now. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will catch you later. I am out.